Now, the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Sidi Keita, has said that Gambia's public debt has risen to 110.7 billion as he made the pronouncement on Friday while addressing journalists at the National Assembly in Banjul. He attributed the increase mainly to the ongoing economic impacts of COVID-19 and the significant decline in the dollar's value against major global currencies. Our reporter Mamadi Baro tells us more of that in this report.
The Gambia's finance minister has presented a 55.3 billion national budget for 2026 to the National Assembly, where Minister Keita outlined plans to enhance citizens' living standards. However, the budget comes as the country's public debt reaches a historic height of $110.7 billion, fueled by increased domestic borrowing and currency depreciation. Speaking at a press briefing in Banjul shortly after his budget presentation, the finance minister attributed the debt surge partly to lingering effects of the global pandemic, calling it a legacy issue inherited from the past economic challenges.
And is the nature of the debt itself. That has been very prominent, and we have even gone on to explain it further. And it's difficult to discuss debt with just words. We need to come up with graphs, with numbers, with dates, and that's what we are going. That's the part. I've tasked my team that we will have a press event where we'll invite the press to walk them through the debt evolution. Because I will be deliberate on this question because it has been asked, and it's rightly so. Because were it not for debt service, we could have done much more. But this is not unique to Gambia alone. When COVID took off, all the countries globally, their debt element went up. Just to indicate, you see the COVID bailout package that was done by the Western countries was not from revenue sources, was through direct borrowed funds. That's why you will see after COVID, all the debts of the countries have gone up. And we will share with you global publications such as the World Debt Report that is published by the World Bank, which indicates the debt of all countries in the world in terms of obligations internationally are concerned.
According to Minister Keita, around 60% of the Gambia's national debt is held in foreign currencies, primarily the US dollar, euro, and British pound. This exposes the country to exchange rate risk whenever the dollar depreciates. The debt burden escalates when converted to dollars. The minister highlighted that recent surges in debt levels are largely attributed to this currency-driven inflation, not just new borrowing. He further emphasized that most of Gambia's loans are concessional, featuring substantial grant components that reduce the effect costs.
That in our debt situation, Gambia government is the borrower of record, but there is a significant portion of the debt which are owed by the parastatals, such as the NAWEC, the GAMTEL, the GAMCEL, the GCCA, and the Gambia GGC, which government is assuming. So that's why if you look at our total debt stock, a large part of it is related to that.
Mr. Keita also emphasized that debt restructuring is actively progressing with a primary focus on alleviating interest burdens, while acknowledging the high debt stock. He reassured that it remains sustainable under current projections. Despite these prevailing headwinds, the minister says the medium-term outlook remains optimistic. Real GDP growth is projected at 5.5% in 2026, with an average of 5.1% in subsequent years, driven by structural reforms, digitalization, declining inflation, and potential stabilization of the dollar. Reporting for Eyeafrica News, I am Mamadi Baro.